Hello, everyone. This is your host, Akeel, and welcome back to another episode of SaaS District. In today's episode, we'll be talking with our special guest, one and only Neil Patel. Neil Patel is an entrepreneur, angel investor, and analytics expert who specializes in SEO and digital marketing. He has co-founded several marketing tech companies, including Kissmetrics, HelloBar, and Crazy Egg. He also runs his own ad agency called Neil Patel Digital and a keyword research tool, Ubersuggest. Over the years, he has helped big companies such as Amazon, Microsoft, Airbnb, Google, and HP to help them grow through his amazing marketing skills. Among his many achievements, Neil has been recognized as a New York Times bestseller author, a top influencer by the Wall Street Journal, a top 10 marketer by Forbes, a top 100 entrepreneur under the age of 30 by former US President Barack Obama, a top 100 entrepreneur under the age of 35 by the United Nations, and he created one of the 100 most brilliant companies according to Entrepreneur magazine. Neil also runs a blog about marketing that has generated over 3 million visitors per month. He co-hosts his own podcast with Eric Sue, Marketing School, that has generated over 1 million listens per month, and YouTube channel about marketing that has over 10 million views. So hopefully that was pretty accurate, Neil, and I'm super glad to have you on our show today.
Thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here. So
awesome. So I want to kind of get into, I know you guys analyze a bunch of companies that you guys work with and also partner with other companies to understand trends and data. I would love to hear about some marketing trends that you're seeing on a macro level with where marketing spend is being directed for SaaS companies specifically during this pandemic situation.
So funny enough, we're seeing a lot of SaaS companies grow, and we're not seeing spend change really too much. People are just spending wherever's making them money, right? Like with this pandemic, a lot of people are like, how's advertising and marketing going to change, post-pandemic? And what we're seeing is it's not really changing much. People are still spending in the same places. People are still going omni-channel. As long as the channels are profitable, they continually do them. And with SaaS, because of their such high valuations, and a lot of these companies have seen growth during the pandemic, you're actually seeing them starting to spend more money and ramp up efforts as well.
Got it. So there's actually an increase, surprisingly. And what would you say some other SaaS, say, owners or marketers should be looking out for and maybe start applying with their marketing budget? So, what are some risks that you are seeing? Like maybe there's industry specific, or what are the opportunities that maybe, like I know, for example, say Facebook ads, is it less competitive right now and they should be spending more money there, or anything around that?
So you're saying what should people be looking for right now that could be less competitive or easier? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So both sides. So what are the risks out there that they should be looking out for? And then what are some maybe opportunities that they should be focusing on instead?
Yeah. So as for risk, the big thing is, are you providing an amazing experience? And here's what I mean by that. See, when I first started getting into SaaS years and years ago, you could build a company based off of a feature, like a heat map, and you could just do well. Those times no longer exist because there's so much competition. And because it's so much easier to create a SaaS company and cheaper, right? The biggest risk people have is not innovating, not continuing making your product easier to use, not making it where people have that aha moment or that light bulb where they're just like, oh, this is the benefit from this app and this is the value. So if you can't give people the good stuff, if you can't give them the results, what they're looking for as quick as possible, your risk is someone else in your space is going to, and they're going to dominate your space and crush you. So that's the biggest risk that we're seeing, at least right now. It's just, if you look at the data from Price Intelligently or ProfitWell, if you look at over time, Patrick Campbell does a lot of presentation. And he talks about the NPS scores and the satisfaction rating that users have of SaaS apps have continually gone down over time. And one of the biggest reasons for that is people are just satisfied or less satisfied because there's so much competition and there's so many options out there.
Makes sense. And is there certain industries where you're seeing it's, you should be kind of more opportunistic right now? I know obviously e-commerce is probably one. Maybe, some kind of marketing tech or health tech, I'm assuming as well. Is there any others that you've seen that are doing really well right now?
It, not necessarily specifically. It's
Mm,
some industries are doing better than others, some are doing worse, but just in general, anything that could be done online that doesn't require in person is doing quite well. Like you mentioned, health is doing really well, e-commerce is doing really well, SaaS is doing really well in general, communication is doing really well.
mhm,
Anything that has to do with productivity is doing really well.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, it's anything that's adapted to the new environment or that benefits people during the new environment, such as conference calling services or such as
mhm,
time tracking software that's used on your computer for people who are virtual.
mhm. Yeah, I guess we could see that with using Zoom today and their crazy valuation. With Ubersuggest, so I know you acquired that company a couple of years ago. You started with the Google mindset of dominate and then monetize. So you were burning through a lot of your own cash to run it for the last several months or years. I think you were saying a couple $100,000 a month, um, and then you kind of made the switch to a paid model. Can you tell us how many free users did you have on your platform at the time before shifting to offer that paid model?
Yeah, so we went from free to freemium, in which there's a still very, very, very generous free plan, more than
Mm,
anyone else in the space. And
mm-hmm,
then we charge for more data, we charge for more features, more projects, etc.
mm-hmm.
And when we look at that, we had somewhere around six or 700,000 users before we started to make the
Wow.
shift from free to freemium.
Okay. And do you know how many, like a percentage wise, of those converted to paid at that time when you made that switch?
Very, very little, not even 1%. Because
Really?
keep in mind, we give away so much for free still that most people don't need to upgrade to pay.
Wow. And how about now? Would you say it's the same, like less than 1%, or are you seeing that kind of growth happen?
No, less than 1%. We
Still
can
less
make
than.
it 3, 4% if we were aggressive, but we're not.
Wow. Okay.
Because our
So,
model on that product isn't to make money. Our model is to break even.
and then what's kind of the long-term game on that?
The long-term game is to just try to get to break even and stay there. If I get profitable, give away more for free so the conversion rate drops and I stay at break even.
So you're seeing the value in having more users kind of on your platform, and you see the value like dominating the space and being a leader there more than and the value there being able to monetize that at some point in the future.
We don't really look at it as monetization. The
Mm,
whole our whole premise and thesis of building Ubersuggest was businesses don't have a ton of money,
mm,
especially small ones.
yeah.
How can you end up giving them something away for free or dirt cheap so that way they can do better and succeed without having to invest a lot of capital?
Hmm.
So our goal from Ubersuggest wasn't to necessarily make money. Our goal was to help out the small and medium businesses, and that's our
Nice.
mission, and that's what we
Hmm.
want to stick to. So if that means we make less money, so be it.
Nice. I love that. Looking back now, do you think it was the right time? So 600,000 users, was it the right time or stage of the business to make that switch? Do you still, do you think it was the right timing?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't know what the right timing was or what we should have done on that end. The one
Mm,
thing I do know is, you know, most of the people are happy, they understand why, and they have no issues.
okay.
Like like if I was trying to break even quicker, I would have done it quicker.
Mm,
I think it
mm,
was really slow on my end. I think I could have monetized a year in advance, not
mm,
because I needed more users, but because I was slower in my development and product than I needed to be.
mm.
I
And
could have
why?
wasted 6 months after I bought the tool. I could have
Mhm.
not wasted those 6 months, and I could have monetized 6 months earlier.
Mm. Yeah, you're just sitting on it or making some other changes.
Exactly.
Um,
I could have not changed the scope multiple times through development. That probably would have saved me another 6 months, right? So, like, you combine all, I could have probably monetized a year earlier and lost less money. I could have been more efficient with my hosting costs and done reserved instances earlier from
mm,
Amazon, which would have saved me money, which would have made it uh, easier for me to not monetize, right? So, in theory, on that end, I could have delayed how long I did monetization.
mm. And I know you've raised capital before, I think, for previous companies. Obviously you're well connected, and then you're using your own capital to fuel the growth on it. Did you consider raising, VC capital to keep fueling that user growth and burning through the cash for a longer period? And if not, why or why not?
So what's funny is I'm not really interested in raising at this point, but what's funny is I get more offers now that I'm not looking to raise than I did before when I was trying to raise.
Hmm.
But
So you think
yeah,
at some point you will?
I don't think so. I don't really care for investors. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with them. I just don't care for them. I rather be, you know, be in control of my own destiny.
exactly. So you just want that pressure or responsibility to have to kind of live up to somebody else's standards or whatever
Well,
they judge you by.
well, well, in many cases, it doesn't fit our mission. If my mission is to
Mm,
give away as much as free and help the small, medium businesses without charging them, and don't get me wrong, we charge to some extent for some of the features because we have to cover our costs. It's
hmm
just not sustainable. Like I can't afford to lose like $2-3 million every year, right?
hmm
I'm not rich enough to, like, if I was a billionaire or I had hundreds
hmm
and hundreds of millions of dollars, I wouldn't care. But that's not the reality that I'm in, right?
hmm
So if that was the case, then I would just have everything 100% free and I wouldn't give a crap. But if
mm,
I raise money, investors, their thesis is to make bets and create a return for their limited partners.
right.
That doesn't align with my mission.
Mm. So it makes
And if
sense.
I,
So yeah,
yeah, if I raise money, I would have to go and charge for more, right?
yeah. So unless you had the right investor who lined up with your kind of your culture of what you're trying to build and the brand of what you're trying to build, yeah, it probably wouldn't make sense, right?
Yeah, that's not going to happen, right?
Yeah, they're there to make money, not charity, right?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah. So I saw a recent article by Brian Dean where from Backlinko where he was comparing many data sets and accuracy between the top keyword research tools. So they had Ahrefs, SEMrush, Ubersuggest, and then obviously I think Longtail Pro, which I know was previously owned by Spencer Hawes, was acquired by Wired Investors, where I worked previously, and I think you were an investor in as well. And I think now it's owned by my friend Kevin. So with almost clearly define leaders in this market, so I don't know, what I hear is, a lot of people love SEMrush, Ahrefs, those are the two big in the space. Then you also have the more premium SEO tools like MarketMuse. What's your vision with Ubersuggest, say, in the next 2 to 3 years, and where do you stand in the market compared to the big guys in the space right now?
Yeah, sure. So my vision is to continually add more and more advanced features and empower small and medium businesses so that way they can get a leg up on their competition. I'm not trying to go after the enterprise space. I don't
Okay.
necessarily care to be the premium brand or the enterprise brand. I care to be that product where small and medium businesses can use the app and get results in the simplest and easiest way as possible. In other words, I want to make marketing really simple.
Okay. And what are some features you think that we should be expecting in the next couple of years, if you can share that?
Sure. I do apologize for the background noise, by the way.
That's all good.
I'm like, I can't control that one, but I love my daughter with that. So the biggest thing that we're working on is two things. So one, when I look at my Ubersuggest app, right now you go to Ubersuggest to use it. And we have a
Mhm.
Chrome extension that's growing really fast in popularity. But
Okay.
why should you have to, when you search Google and you do a lot of research as marketers in
Mm.
Google, why should you have to go back to the app? So
Right.
I'm not going to ever delete my app, but I I want to make it where you can get all the value through the website. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So then
So,
that way you can get value from the website without having to go back to Ubersuggest. So that, or you
right.
can get value from Google while you're searching versus going back to Ubersuggest. So that's the first thing. Cause I think from a user flow, that would be
Mm-hmm.
much more usable. That'll of course hurt the revenue for me to try to get to break even more, but I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is soon we'll release a lot of data points on your competition. So you can put in
Okay.
your URL and we'll analyze your competition without you even knowing them because most businesses don't know their competition that are the
Mm-hmm.
small and medium ones from our research. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll tell them what their competition is doing, keep them up to date, and then give them ideas and recommendations.
And that's directly through the group Chrome extension. So if I'm in Google, I'm searching for some keyword, I'll get some data, and then you also get competition, or is that back into Ubersuggest?
Both.
Both? Wow. Okay. Cool. There's a lot more advanced automation coming up, and then there's some, super successful AI SEO tools, or they're attempting to be AI driven. Uh, do you believe that SEO will be eventually fully automated, and is that something you guys are looking at as well?
I do. We are looking at it, but we're trying to solve more basic problems
Mm,
like email. Small and medium businesses have email lists; they can't afford it. We're trying to figure out how we can create an email product where we give unlimited sends and unlimited contacts for free. So if you have
through
100,000 email lists, you can send out 100,000 emails. And you can send that out daily if you wanted, or if you have a million emails and a million, contacts that you want to message on a daily basis, you can email a million people for free.
Wow, that's through Ubersuggest, or is this because now you're competing with the Mailchimps and the other email marketing tools, right?
Correct. That would be through Ubersuggest. Eventually, we want to expand out of SEO and just do more. We want to do SEO, email. We want to do all the main marketing channels that small and medium businesses have issues with and need help with.
Very nice. And I think I saw somewhere where there could be an option where you upload like a plugin. I think I've seen some other company doing that where you upload a plugin on your WordPress, and then it automatically will detect and give you recommendations to automate a lot of your SEO changes. Is that something you guys are looking at?
Yeah, and we'll get into things like that as well. I think the ideal thing that users want is they put a JavaScript on their website and it just does
Mm-hmm.
all the changes for them so they don't have to do anything.
Right. Makes sense. So on the investment side, I want to talk a little bit about there. So I know you've made several investments. You made acquisitions such as Ubersuggest in the past. Are you currently making any investments during this pandemic period with the uncertainty, or are you holding on cash?
And I'm still making investments. During these times, you end up seeing a lot of good deals.
Hmm. And what it specifically can share, like what are you looking at for investing at the moment?
Good growth, good
Mm,
valuation,
mhm,
people solving a real problem.
mhm.
Uh, when I say growth, I'm talking about revenue growth. So I'm not
Okay.
looking for companies pre-revenue. I'm looking for post-revenue companies.
Mm, nice. Any specific industries, or just general kind of, as long as they fit those criteria?
No specific industries. I do like companies that are more so tech-based. So
Yeah. So you act, is it just as angel investor, or are you also, come in as LP on deals and, equity pieces as well?
both.
Both? Okay. So I like to look a little bit more about your investment process. What are some key metrics? So I know there's growth, or say red flags that you look for, and what level of due diligence do you perform on your investments?
I do a lot of diligence. There is no one red flag, but I look at everything from market cap to team to how fast they're executing. Do they have laser focus? What do people think about their product or service in this space? Are they drinking too much of their own Kool-Aid? Like how are they going to sustain the growth? How are they going to beat their competition? What are they doing that's unique compared to the other players in this space? But there's just so many little things that I look at, right? There's no like one thing. I have this concept when you pick investments, you bet on the jockey, not the horse, right? Because
Right.
a good entrepreneur can fail. They all do.
Hmm.
Mark Zuckerberg has failures. Elon Musk has failures. But
Yeah.
when you look at the great ones overall, they've still succeeded and done well.
Right.
So just looking for those type of entrepreneurs is really hard, but
Hmm.
they do exist. There's just not a ton of them.
Yeah.
Like for example, during this pandemic, I've met a lot of entrepreneurs who broke down and they couldn't deal with the pressure. And I
Mm.
get it, and that sucks. But in reality, when you're putting investment dollars, you want to make sure that people have that mental ability to keep just pushing through.
Mm. Is there a way that you can assess that, like in your due diligence? So obviously, you can look at track record, but speaking to them on one, is there certain questions maybe you ask that you can, try to filter them, or assess that, or is it just a matter of time and your gut?
I just wait, repeat it again. I just want to make sure I got it right.
Yeah. So like, you say 100 entrepreneurs, and they say, maybe they're pitching you a business. How do you know that you can bet on that driver, so to speak? Like, what are you looking for? So there's track record of previous operations experience, so to say, and then what else are you looking for? How do you know that they're the right person to invest in?
It's hard to explain it, but you just kind of know. Like
Mm,
from talking to them, do you gel with them? Do you think they have what it really takes? Are they
mm,
scrappy? Are they creative when they run up against roadblocks? Are they good at sales? Or do they know how to generate revenue? Or do they
mm,
rely on others for answers? Are they able to figure out things on their own?
mm,
Uh, do they get the concept that you should go after really big TAMs, or do they enjoy picking niches? Because I hate entrepreneurs who like picking niches, right? The
mm,
money is in large TAMs. So, but it's like a
mm,
lot of little things like that.
mm. And what are some large TAMs that what would you define as large TAM?
A large TAM is like anything that's 5, 10 plus billion dollar market.
Okay, 5-10 billion. Okay,
Ideally, a billion plus on the low end, but
yeah.
it's hard to get a big chunk of any market. So you want to go after the biggest market, ideally markets that are worth tens of billions, hundreds of billions.
Mm, makes sense. I want to talk about the SaaS versus agency business model. So many digital marketing agency owners I know eventually moved to a SaaS product. I think most of them started in agency world, either through burning out from managing clients and big teams, or they hit a plateau on how high they can reach the revenue of the agency. I know you started offering digital marketing agency services at some point back a couple of years ago, and then you stopped offering it after that because I remember it actually redirects some inbound leads through your network, including us when I worked with increased visibility. I remember you sent over some leads, which we handled, and we serviced some big clients for link building at the time. Why did you decide to come back and start Neil Digital? What was the reasoning
Yeah,
there?
sure. So we started Neil Patel Digital or NP Digital because when we were working with partners, they were great. We just wanted to build our own brand and control our relationship with our clients and control the experience and create a product that we ourselves would pay for. Now, it doesn't mean that the competition sucks. It's just more so we wanted to build out our own vision of an agency, right? An agency that I myself would want to pay to grow my own company.
Mm-hmm. And how are you liking, I guess, coming back to that world versus, working on SaaS, for example, like Ubersuggest or Kissmetrics?
I like it. It's a grind. It's hard,
Mm-hmm.
but I like it. It's very people intensive, right?
Yeah,
Resource wise.
yeah, exactly. And you have an in-house team, or are you guys all remote since day one?
No, in-house team, although they're more remote right now because of COVID, but
Yeah, makes sense.
all in-house.
All in-house. Nice. Um, so there seems to be, many now SEO experts or SEO tools out there. If I'm a SaaS marketer with maybe limited knowledge and I'm looking to hire an agency or try to do it myself, how do you differentiate the real experts and high value products from, maybe the frauds or lower quality ones, as maybe you've seen through, trying to manage different partners and quality control there?
Case studies, you would want to talk to references, but those are usually the two easy ways. The third one is you look at their own website to see their own results.
Mm. So look if they're actually, doing SEO, are they doing paid ads or whatnot for their own website?
Exactly.
Mm. And where would you say you're focusing your marketing efforts? So, exactly what you kind of said right there for your own website, Neil Patel Digital. Where are you focusing your own marketing efforts and budget?
We more so focus it on neilpatel.com because it already gets a ton of traffic, and we focus our efforts on things like blogging. We're releasing free courses to help train and educate, more tools like Ubersuggest,
Hmm.
maybe get into mail, maybe then get into paid ad management, stuff like that.
Okay. And would you say that's more, top? So it looks like more top of the funnel. Are you doing anything on? So you have the podcast as well. I know you're doing YouTube videos.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
this is a combination of everything, but yeah, I focus mainly on top of funnel myself.
top of funnel. Okay. Um, yeah, makes sense. And one last question on the domain. I guess from, if you're an agency and branding and SEO, do you still feel that it's relevant to have branded domains, or how important is the domain name from an SEO perspective as it was, like say 10 years ago?
It's important. You want to have a good, memorable brand because you want
Mm.
people to search for it and click on your results because that helps you with SEO. Most
Hmm.
people still have this notion that you need keywords in your domain name.
Hmm.
You don't need a keyword in your domain name. I'd rather go for a memorable brand and have a keyword-rich domain.
Okay, makes sense. Um, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience today, Neil?
That's it from my end.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And last, where can our audience get in touch with you if they want to hire you or your agency or just learn more about what you're working on?
Yeah, Neil Patel Digital or npdigital.com. If you need help growing your company, funny enough, we do a lot of SaaS marketing as well. Or if you just need help marketing any type of website, npdigital.com. If you want to learn more about marketing yourself, you can just check out neilpatel.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Neil. I'm really happy you were able to join us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for listening in to today's episode. Don't forget to join us for another episode where we interview top leaders and experts in the business and SaaS industry. If you enjoyed this episode, I ask that you please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. That would be really, really appreciated. Otherwise, if you have any feedback, suggestions, or improvements for this podcast, please feel free to send it directly to me on our website at horizoncapital.com. Or you can just tweet me at Akeel Jabbar. Thanks again, and hope to see you guys on the next episode.